Hi, I'm Carol Harkins from South Jersey SEO. I'm here today with Brian Berg, the owner of Canine Basics Dog Training in Marlton, New Jersey. Brian has been called the best dog trainer in New Jersey. Welcome, Brian.
How are you, Carl? It's good to be here.
I'm glad you're here too. So, Brian, if you can tell us what led you to become a dog trainer?
Well, I had been a police officer for 25 years, and 10 of those years were spent handling a police dog who was my best friend and my partner on the force. And I also supervised that unit for several years. So when I retired, I wanted to train dogs, and the reason being is the thing I like best about training dogs is to problem solve issues and help people with their behavior with their dogs and create a better relationship.
Okay, cool. So, how long have you been training dogs?
And in August, it'll be 11 years we've been in business.
Okay, but would you say you've been training dogs, though, longer than 11 years? You've been in business 11 years, but I guess back from.
Well, I started as a police canine handler in 1983, and that's when I went through Philadelphia Police Canine School. So that was a few years ago.
Okay, cool. Um, so can you tell us anything about your philosophy or methodology about, what you use for training dogs?
The biggest thing we have to understand about dogs is that every dog is different. It's not a cookie cutter method. In other words, their behaviors are different, their breeding is different, their instincts are different. Some have some learned behaviors, and at least 50% of this is helping the owners with their dogs. It's teaching the owners what they're supposed to be doing. And how I get there is going to vary from dog to dog. The point is, if we can get a dog's attention, that's easy. There's a lot of ways to get a dog's attention. It's very difficult to keep a dog's attention. And we train them in distractions because that's the real world. It's not about teaching commands. That's the easiest thing we do here. It's, can I get to the point with your dog or someone else's dog that they can function and be happy on leash or off leash, whether there's distractions present or not. And when we can do that, you start to transform the dog, because when I can get and keep a dog's attention, then you have more learning moments and you can teach and they can focus and pay attention to you. The problem with dogs is their attention span is so short. I mean, most dogs have 1, 2 seconds in distractions. If I can eliminate that as an issue, you can have a much better dog, because we are not going to change your dog's personality. We are not going to change their energy or drive. And we're not going to create a robot. I want your dog to be a big part of your family. I want you to have fun with your dog. And I want you to have reliable off-leash controls so that when you want to, because you're going to make all the decisions for the dogs while they're in training, because that's going to create a happier dog. Dogs make a lot of bad decisions. A trained dog makes a lot less bad decisions because we've also taught them mental boundaries about what they can and can't do. So we're going to give you the tools to be effective leaders and teach you how to guide your dogs through the process.
Wow, that sounds pretty exciting. Actually, I've seen a video with you and one of your dogs off leash. And do you really mean that you can help other people who don't have the experience that you do to have that kind of experience with their dog?
Well, remember, it depends on the dog. Some dogs have more energy and drive than others, and not every dog is going to be able to do what you saw in that video, because not every dog has that kind of drive. The point of that video is to show people that in Cherokee's mind, when she was playing up there at Route 73 and Green Tree Road, she's playing, and I'm giving her commands at the same time, but she's focused on me. Her attention is on me, not all the traffic, not people going by. The point is, if I can make distractions irrelevant when your dog is on command with you, you're not going to be dealing with all the pulling and tugging and biting and all the crazy stuff that you see with dogs. When I want to bring some calm to you and your dog, I want you to have a better relationship. They got to learn how to work more in pack drive than prey drive all the time, which we get into in training, and I don't want to overdose people on all the drives that dogs have, but it's one of the components of teaching people, this is where we're at, this is how we get there. But it really varies from dog to dog. Some dogs have very low drive. They don't want to play. They don't have that drive to go catch a ball. Other dogs really have it. And A lot of people come to me and say, my dog, it's just too much energy and drive. I don't want to change the energy of the drive. I love that in a dog. I want to teach them how to manipulate it. I want to teach them how to have better control. But everything has to flow through the dog handler. So I try to get folks to understand, think of this as a team. You and your dog are going to be a team, and I'm going to teach you how to work as a team. And when you have that bond, most people think bonding is I love my dog and my dog loves me, which is true. That's part of the bonding. But what they're missing in the middle is leadership. Your dog's looking for it. If we can teach you how to provide it through us, you are going to have the dog that you never thought you could have. And you will eliminate so many problems because they want to do the right thing. They have no idea what that is. So we have to create that for them.
Wow, that is a very interesting philosophy that I don't know that I've even heard from other dog trainers. And doing this, you can help eliminate other kinds of bad behavior that they do, like chewing your shoes and other behaviors like that.
Actually, those are easy behaviors to fix. And when we put it all together, and I always talk to folks about, look, you need to put all the pieces together for your dog. The easiest thing we do is teach commands. That does not stop behavior problems. So in your home, you have to decide what your dog can and can't do. And until they learn, and we set up some better mental boundaries for the dogs, you shouldn't just give them free rein to do whatever they want. Here's an example. If your dog chews up a very expensive pair of shoes, the first question I ask the dog owner is, where were you when the dog was chewing the shoes? And the answer is, well, I was downstairs or I was busy. My point is this. It's not to be sarcastic. My point is you have to supervise your dog better. There's nothing wrong with keeping your dog on a leash for a while in the house. And if you're busy, you got things going on, the kids, dinner, I get that with life going on. There's nothing wrong with creating your dog for a while. That's his safety zone. But you're starting to eliminate their options to fail all the time. The biggest thing I tell people is this. We have to de-stress the dogs and de-stress the dog owners. Because when your dog keeps doing all these behaviors, it's aggravating, it's frustrating, and it's stressful. That's why you see so many dogs in shelters. And I can fix that.
Cool. Okay, just changing gears a little bit here, Brian. You've been called the dog trader's dog trainer. Why do you think other dog trainers look to you when they have questions or problems?
Well, I think it's a combination of experience. We've trained so many dogs here. I think over the time that we've been in business, probably over 3,000 dogs. And I've had the opportunity to work with some really good dog trainers across the country. This is not just about me. It's about Canine Basics. It's about my staff. We have some really good dog trainers. I have 5 trainers on staff here with me. And I don't want it to be just about Brian Berg. I want it to be about Canine Basics dog training. Because if I don't, we want to keep getting better and better and better. And the more you learn, and I've learned some great things from dog trainers all over the country. And I learned more about dog behavior after I left law enforcement from civilian dog trainers than I did in law enforcement. Because then you start to see all the different behaviors and all the different breeds that dogs show you. And you learn from so many different people. That's been the best thing that's happened to me. There's some really good people out there in this country that train dogs. And I've learned, and I take as much as I can from as many people as I can. And if we can share that, then that's great. And that's what makes my training staff better.
Thank you. So is there a tip that you could share with us today about dog training? Something we could take away?
One of the basic things people do, is what I mentioned a couple minutes ago. Keep your dog on a leash in the home until they start to earn certain things. If you really understand dog behavior, your dogs need to earn certain things. And you have to separate dog behavior from human behavior. It is not your son or daughter. It's your dog. So it's not your baby. It's your dog. And that doesn't mean you love your dog any less. It doesn't mean we have to do anything negative at all. It means you have to approach it from a different perspective. Your dog has the mentality of a child. That doesn't mean they can't learn a lot, because they can learn an incredible amount. But it's little things like your body language. It's don't let them on the couch if they're not trained. Don't let them just run around the house. They're going to chew everything. I mean, from trim in your house to shoes to everything. They're on the tables. They're on the counters. Start limiting their options to fail and use your leash as a guide. But, you know, obviously I'm going to say seek out a good dog trainer. And if they don't know who a good dog trainer is, I can recommend somebody. It's www.k9basics.com.
Okay, cool, Brian. Thank you. I really appreciate your time and the tips, and I think our audience out there absolutely will be impressed when they see this and certainly learn more about you as well. You are the best dog trainer in New Jersey. Thank you for being here.
Well, I appreciate that, Carol. Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome.